Welcome to Survivor Nurse Truck Talk. I'm James, and in this trucking video, we're going to talk about 5 things that I believe annoy truck drivers the most. Stick around for the last 2 because I think that those 2 are going to be some of the worst ones. And of course, I would want your thoughts and your opinion as we develop this discussion. So number one of the first things that we can consider what annoys truck drivers the most is when a car is trying to merge in front of us. And you know what I'm talking about, when you're on the highway and that car is either coming too slow or that car is going too fast. Either way, it creates an unsafe situation. But what do you do as a professional truck driver in that particular situation? Well, we know that the best thing to do as a truck driver is that we either are going to slow down, back off, and let that car merge safely. And I know some of us say, well, I have the right of way and this or that. But the safer thing to do, the professional thing to do, is to let that car get in and merge properly, because you know what happens when we start to speed up, they start to speed up, and that can cause an unsafe situation. So for sure, I know that this can be frustrating for us truck drivers when that car or whatever that vehicle may be another truck driver as well that is trying to merge when we are on the highway. Number 2, as an over-the-road truck driver, I have been trucking for about 4 years now over the road, and you will notice in these kinds of work environments where that vehicle in front of you keeps speeding up and slowing down. So the second one I like to share is the car, the truck, or that vehicle that just does not maintain a consistent speed. And what that does for us in the long run, especially if you're an over-the-road driver, you know, driving that 1,000-mile run or that haul, over the long run, that can be frustrating because we are constantly speeding up and slowing down. And if you're an independent owner-operator, you want to save, of course, on fuel, because that is one of the biggest costs as an owner-operator is fuel. And of course, you want to do good for the company as well and help them conserve diesel, because diesel's not cheap. If you're gaining some value so far on this channel, Survivor Nurse Truck Talk, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, because that helps this discussion to spread and help other truck drivers become aware of this situation, and we can all relate to these things that frustrate us out here on the road. Also, as a truck driver over the road, one of my favorite coffee drinks is a mushroom coffee that has Ganoderma in it. And I enjoy it because it does help a lot of areas of the body. It helps your blood pressure, helps your immune system, helps to just balance you overall and gives you energy, sustained energy overall. And as a nighttime driver, for me, it's one of my favorite coffees to go to. If you're interested or want to learn more about this mushroom coffee that is an overall health coffee, check out the Amazon link in the description below. Back to the discussion, the third thing that I believe annoys truck drivers the most is being stuck in traffic. And we all know what this feels like, waiting and waiting, sometimes for hours. I remember going into California, and there's a big decline or mountain area that goes into California, and there was an accident there, and I could see from on the higher side of the hill how long the line was and how long I was going to be waiting. And I could tell that it wasn't not going to be any time soon because of the traffic that was at a complete stop. So what I did is I just bit the bullet, pulled over, let the traffic subside, and just wait it out. And as a truck driver, one characteristic that we need out here is patience. Patience is a virtue, and especially in this industry, because there's things that are constantly happening around us. It's a very stressful environment. We're having to wait on traffic. We're having to, unfortunately, deal with stupid drivers out there. And as a professional, one of the characteristics that we need to have is to stay calm and be patient. So what do you think? Do you think traffic can be one of the most annoying things. Maybe not for you, maybe it's something else. And this brings us to the fourth thing that I believe can annoy truck drivers the most. And I think that we can all relate to this one, and that is when a truck driver is holding up the fuel line. You know, recently I saw a trucker open his hood and he was checking all his fluids and just taking his time. And there was, of course, someone behind him waiting and trying to get in there as well and fuel. As truck drivers, if we're trying to get to our final destination and we're waiting 30 more minutes than we have to in the fuel island when it was not necessary, that can start to add up. Why? Because in another incident, maybe you hit a bad thunderstorm, and lately we've been having a lot of tornadoes. I don't know if you noticed this, that are sweeping across the United States. It's unusual. And so I think as truck drivers, we're facing more and more weather problems, and that weather problem can cause delay added to that 30, 40 minutes or sometimes longer at a truck stop just trying to fuel and get out of there. You and I both know that all that time adds up and can cause us to be late. So my encouragement as truck drivers, if you're in the fuel island, I think the best time doing things like maintenance on your truck or is either to pull up just so that we can be courteous and mindful of the truck drivers behind us. What do you think? Do you think the fuel island can sometimes frustrate us and annoy us when that person shouldn't be parked there? And I know this can go on where the truck driver will even get down and grab food and eat inside or even take a shower. I have seen that before as well. So this is the second to the last. And here is the final one that I would like to share that may not be talked about much. And I'm sharing this one because in one of my videos, I noticed that a trucker left a comment and said that we're not talking about this, problem or issue in the trucking enough. And that is this: shippers and receivers being rude to truck drivers. If you've been in the trucking game for quite some time already, maybe 10, 15, 20 or more years, you have seen all the shippers and receivers that treated you bad. You remember those because our mind and our bodies and our emotional state gravitate to remember those things where people, especially in the trucking industry, didn't treat us right. As a trucker, you walk into the shipper, you give them the paperwork. The shipper or the customer doesn't even greet you, doesn't even look up at you. I remember one time that there was a worker, an employee in a warehouse hiding behind the fence and I couldn't see them. And so I rang the buzzer and it made a loud noise. And then he came around and then he was visible and then he just blew up and gave me a bad attitude and started to raise his voice saying, "I'm right here. You're not supposed to ring the buzzer. You're supposed to read the instructions." And I told him right away, I apologize. I didn't see you behind there. And that's why I rang the buzzer. So you get the point. And you may have experienced worse things than this, where that shipper is just really rude to you and just doesn't connect with you as a human being. And this could mean because some truckers have gone in there and been rude or behaved inappropriately towards the customer. And so now there's a stereotype where shippers and receivers are treating truck drivers the same because they think that we're all the same and we're not. And we can go on a tangent on how this is not appropriate, where we are just already judging someone based upon another experience that was present before. And so now everybody's the same. So shippers and receivers treating truck drivers badly, I think, can be one of the most annoying things, because in this trucking environment, we have stress already built up from driving, from the things that we see out on the road, trying to be on time. All these things begin to place stress on our body, trying to get a good meal, trying to get a shower. There's a lot of other challenges out here that can annoy truck drivers. And so all this can build up, and when that shipper or that receiver is going to treat us badly, it just can add to our day more stress if we allow it to get to us. So my encouragement to us is to stay, calm, stay spiritually balanced, because we don't need more stress out of here. We're just all trying to do our job, get the miles that we want, and make the money we want out here. So I want to thank that trucker who did put the comment in one of the Survivor News trucking videos. And it did really help, because it gave me time to think about this a little more, that we're not talking about this enough, where we all need to treat each other with respect out here, especially our co-workers, especially the company we're working for. We all just want to be appreciated and respected for the job that we are doing out here. Truckers are very crucial to the economy, as you have heard many times. And so the last thing that we want to do is treat other truckers badly and add more stress to the environment. So these are 5 things that I believe that can annoy truckers the most. That is passing and merging on the highway, not having a consistent speed, staying in traffic for hours and hours where we need patience for that situation, truckers holding up the fuel line, and finally, shippers and receivers treating truckers badly. So what do you think about these 5 things that we have shared? I know that there are a lot other annoying situations out there. Share them with us in the comments, because I take the time to read those. I don't have a team looking at those. I like personally to see those, because I'm a trucker myself, and I like to see your thoughts, and I like to know and learn more about what's happening out there for you as we grow together in this trucking industry, and as we keep that stress level down, and as we continue to drive forward together as truckers. If you like trucking content like this, don't forget to subscribe to Survivor's Truck Talk, because it does help the discussions get out there for other truckers to see and engage as well. How you doing, truckers? I wanted to make this quick video for you and just share a go-to coffee that I enjoy out here on the road, and it's called Ganoderma coffee, or mushroom coffee, and there are other names for it. I wanted to let you know it's one of my favorites, because what the mushroom does, it's a natural mushroom that really helps your blood flow. It helps your blood pressure. If you're on blood pressure medication, of course, always get with your doctor to see if this is a good fit. I'm not a doctor, and I don't claim that it's going to heal things in your body or things like that. But what I can say is I have been taking this mushroom coffee for more than 5 or 6 years, and it does help blood flow. It can regulate things in your body that are off balance, and then just give you sustained energy over time. It's one of my go-to coffees as a night driver. I drink it. It does have caffeine, just like your normal coffee, but what's different about it is the mushroom, or the ingredient inside of it. So if you're interested in learning more about what this coffee is, I did leave a link, an Amazon link, in the description that you can go check out if that's something that you're interested in. Again, I have been taking it for a while. It does help many areas in your health, but of course I cannot claim or say that it's going to cure some kind of disease or cancer or things like this, but I have heard and read stories that it has actually helped people with these areas. But again, Ganoderma mushroom coffee is something that I enjoy drinking. Check it out if that's something that interests you.